On this video, we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have lots of very interesting updates, so let's start. And this morning, we can say that another round of escalation between the Russian Federation and the NATO countries has happened. According to information we have, during the previous night between the 9th and the 10th of September of 2025, the Russians carry out another massive missile and drone attack all over the entire territory of Ukraine. Lots of missiles, lots of drones were recorded. So by the morning of the 10th of September of 2025, the Ukrainian resources published this photo where we can see the approximate roads. As you can see, once again, the Russians used cruise missiles, and once again the Russians used hundreds of drones. But when talking about this attack differs from any attack that we've seen since the beginning of the special military operation, because according to official Ukrainian resources and the official Polish resources, the Russians attacked not just the territory of Ukraine, but several dozens of drones crossed the border between Ukraine and Poland, and these drones answered the territory of a NATO country, the territory of the state by the name of Poland. So this is the escalation we are talking about. When talking about this map, I would like to point attention to the left top corner to this area. These are exactly the roads we are talking about. So these are the roads of Russian drones that crossed the border and answered the limits of Poland. As for the beginning of the 10th of September of 2025, several episodes, very interesting episodes on the territory of Poland were recorded. So according to information we have, several drones answered the territory of Poland, and during the night we got several videos. For example, in this video we can see another two drones flew into Poland. Airports in Warsaw and Lublin also stopped accepting and releasing aircraft due to unplanned military activity. Video from Poland shows the sounds of fighter jets in the sky. Furthermore, according to information we have, Rzeszów Airport in eastern Poland has been closed due to unplanned military activity related to ensuring state security. Reports now claim that there are drones flying at a depth of 50 kilometers in Poland, with locals reporting the activation of air defense systems. Several sources reported that a Russian drone hit a residential building in eastern Poland, damaging the roof and a car on the premises, media reports. Furthermore, we got report that more and more drones were entering the territory of Poland during the night, and the NATO countries were forced to raise its air force. A group of Russian drones flew into Poland from the Volyn region. 3 flew from the Volyn region to Poland, another north of Kovel flying to Poland. Poland raised their aircrafts into the sky near the border with Ukraine due to the drone threat. F-16s and F-35 fighters are in the sky, the media write. So later we got report that Polish air forces managed to bring down almost every single drone, probably every single drone, and by the morning of the 10th of September of 2025, the Polish authorities began making different statements. Dozens of drones flew into Poland. Troops on high alert were so close. NATO Prime Minister and President prepare urgent meetings and briefings. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk confirmed that combat drones shot down by the army flew into the country. I received a report on downed drones that invaded our airspace and could pose a threat. The operation continues. Later, the Prime Minister of Poland, Donald Tusk, stated that those drones belonged to the Russian Federation. So this is something like a war, or what is this? Polish President Nawrocki commented on the violation of the air border by drones, but did not indicate whose they were. He promised to hold a briefing with the Prime Minister in the near future. Tusk will start an emergency meeting with ministers responsible for security at 9 a.m., the Prime Minister's office said. Tusk said he had informed the NATO Secretary General about the current situation and the measures we have taken against the objects that violated our airspace. According to the Polish General Staff, during Russian strikes on objects in Ukraine, Polish airspace was repeatedly violated by dozens of drones. So this is the situation. Furthermore, According to information we have, operational combat of the Polish armed forces. Attention, on the night September 10th, Russia will launch further massive strikes on targets in Ukraine. So this is another round of escalation. This is something new, and it's not just the special military operation just to Ukraine, it's something bigger. Furthermore, a few more things that I would like to point to attention. This week we are going to see another military exercises along the border between the Baltic states and Poland and the Republic of Belarus. The Russian Federation are going to introduce additional forces along the border with the forces of the Republic of Belarus. So this is something like another escalation. Furthermore, according to information we have, Poland have closed the border between Belarus and Poland. So this is also something interesting, and this happened before this, let's say, attack with drones of the territory of Poland. So this happened several days ago. So obviously something interesting. And of course, I would like to remind you that just yesterday we were talking about this map that was revealed by pro-Russian resources, and according to this map, the territory of Ukraine would be divided by the European countries, by Poland, by France, by United Kingdom, Romania, and they're going to take some parts and to be responsible for these parts. Maybe the things that we could see during the previous morning of the work of Polish air defense and Russian drones is a part of this huge puzzle. Military exercises of Zapad 2025 on the territory of Belarus, closed borders, drones attacks, the map with divided Ukraine. So it seems that we are entering completely different stage of the special military operation. But one thing I must say, that the Prime Minister of Poland, Donald Tusk, made his statements regarding drones that they belong to the Russian Federation without any investigation. So this is very strange, because the president of Poland, he didn't blame Russia. He decided to wait for the results of the investigation, because once again, this is not the first time when a drone enter the territory of Poland or something like this, because at the beginning of the special military operation, several drones entered the territory of Poland, but they were launched by Ukrainians, and Ukrainians several years ago blamed Russia and were trying to force Poland to join this war on the Ukrainian side. So as for now, everything might happen, real aggression from the Russian side. At the same time, this might be provocation from Ukrainian side, or at least this is something like a coordinated action of NATO countries with the purpose to officially begin securing at least the western part of Ukraine. We're talking about air defense, because obviously from the territory of Poland, from the territory of Romania, the NATO countries will be able to secure at least completely the western part of Ukraine without any chances for Russian drones and Russian missiles, let's say, to cross these lines. So everything to the west of this yellow line would be destroyed by NATO aircrafts and NATO air defense systems without any risk of being attacked by Russian forces and Russian systems of air defense of Russian aircrafts. So we are entering completely new stage. Let's follow the situation, because obviously the most important things are just ahead of us. Now let's discuss the situation on the ground, and first let's talk about the Zaporozhye direction. During the previous 24 hours, additional changes were recorded on the territory of the settlement of Stepnogorsk. Pro-Ukrainian resources published this video where we can see how Ukrainians were attacked positions of the armed forces of the Russian Federation in the 3rd micro-district of the settlement of Stepnogorsk. These attacks were recorded and discovered. The Ukrainians attacked Russian positions exactly in this point. Based on this video, we came to conclusion that by the morning of the 10th of September of 2025, the Russians secured the 3rd micro-district completely, and now the Russians are ready to move further in the direction of the northern part of the settlement. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the Pokrovsk direction. I believe that in coming days we're going to adjust the map of the breakthrough significantly. According to information we have during the previous 24 hours, the Ukrainians continue their attempts to attack the settlement of Novotoretsk from the northeast, and the Ukrainians were trying to attack the settlement in the area of Boykovka and Fedorovka from the southwest, but both attacks were repelled by the Russians. As of now, now the Russians are saving control over the Boykovka, Novotoretska, a small concentration of towns and villages. This is a heart of Russian breakthrough. If Russians lose control of the settlement, they will be forced to fall back from the entire area of breakthrough. Furthermore, according to pro-Russian resources, during the previous 24 hours, the Ukrainians attacked the settlement of Mayak from the west and the settlement of Mayak through the village of Pankovka from the northeast. So it's like two roads of attacks with the purpose to cut several Russian units and to encircle them. The Russians are saying that by the morning of the 10th of September they managed to stabilize the situation, but the Russians don't know for sure whether they are able to hold the situation for a long period of time, or at the same or sooner or later at some point they would be forced to fall back from this direction. So one thing we can say for sure, that currently there are very heavy clashes. So the Russians are trying to keep this breakthrough for as long as possible. The Ukrainians suffer huge losses, and while one group of Russian forces holds positions in this area, few more groups of the armed forces of the Russian Federation are trying to develop their offensive operation in the area of Konstantinovka, in the area of the city of Siversk, and of course in the Liman direction. As for the city of Konstantinovka, the Russians are intensifying their FPV drone attacks. During the previous 72 hours, dozens of episodes were recorded. The Russians were bombing and attacking Ukraine vehicles and artillery systems along the entire line of combat contact around the city of Konstantinovka, trying to reduce Ukrainian possibilities and military capabilities. As for now, it's very difficult to say when exactly the Russians are planning to begin their major offensive operation in this area, but it seems that this is going to happen very, very soon. In this video, we can see how Russians were attacking Ukraine vehicles along the main supply line between the city of Konstantinovka and Bakhmut. This is very important attack because, according to different sources, this territory used to be considered as the territory under complete Russian control several weeks ago. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the Liman direction. During the previous 12 hours, additional updates we got from the settlement of Zarechny. Pro-Russian resources published another batch of videos of how they were raising flags of the Russian Federation in different parts of the settlement. In this video, we can see how Russians raised the flag in the central part of the village. Here we can see a Russian soldier on the roof of this big building. Few seconds later, we got another episode how Russians raised the flag on the territory of church. Based on this video, we made adjustments in this part of the village. Furthermore, we got changes on the ground in the most northwestern part. Now we can see that the Russians are about to establish complete control over the settlement of Zarechny. Here we can see how exactly the Russians were moving from one day to another on the territory of Zarechny. It seems that in coming 24-48 hours, the Ukrainians would be forced to fall back from this territory completely. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.